They told us the story was simple, a tragedy, a grieving widow, a nation watching in sympathy. But scratch the surface and the mask falls fast. The widow might not be who she says she is. Evidence is emerging that she was groomed, trained, and positioned in place, not to mourn, but to inherit. Behind her polished smile and professional public performances lies a pipeline of children moved across borders, fortunes rerouted offshore, and influence funneled straight into the hands of her handlers. This isn't a love story, it's a transfer of power, and the files we just uncovered prove it. Stay with us, because by the end of this video, you'll understand why this operation had to stay hidden, and why they're willing to kill to protect it. Before we dive in, let me just tell you about an important service that lets you protect your privacy from the deep state. Our partner VP.net isn't just another VPN, it's the next evolution in private browsing, built with unbreakable zero-logging architecture. That means no records, no traces. Nothing for the globalists to snoop. Israel has been on shaky ground since the Epstein conspiracy was blown wide open by the alternative media. And when whispers move from fringe feeds into mainstream headlines, power feels exposed. When that happens, those who depend on that power don't sit back. They secure the future. This is the playbook. If you can't control the money, control the mind. Right now, that play is audacious and direct. A focused grab for America's youth. They're not just buying influence by paying for propaganda, they're weaponizing attention. Days after the Charlie Kirk assassination, the TikTok algorithm was handed over to Israeli intelligence by Larry Ellison of Oracle. The mission? Brainwash the conservative youth of America with Israel-first narratives.
Tell us, what is your connection to Israel?
Well, the renewal of the Jewish state is something that I think touches all of us. For 2,000 years, we were a stateless people, and now we have a country of our own, defended by all the brave men and women of the IDF. So anything we can do to support them, who devote their lives for preserving the state of Israel, keeping the people safe, and allowing our state to continue sometimes in very, very difficult situations. I have been to Israel. I have been to the border. I have spent time to the people who govern the state of Israel. And I feel a deep emotional connection to the state of Israel and the Israeli people. So we've actually acquired a number of Israeli companies. We have two CEOs at Oracle. One's name is Safra Katz, and she was born in Israel. So again, we love the country of Israel. And we'll do everything we can to support the country of Israel.
But hijacking the narrative on American social media wasn't enough for the handlers and their globalist backers. They set their sights on Turning Point USA, the influence machine built by Charlie Kirk, a man many believed could one day lead the country. Kirk's refusal to toe their line made him dangerous. He kept pounding an American first drum, even as establishment power shifted away from the movement that put him on stage. So the plan moved from persuasion to possession. When Kirk turned down a $150 million offer to recast his platform as a mouthpiece for Israel First talking points, the globalist elite didn't fold. They executed the contingency. Erica Kirk liked to present herself as an everyday hero. To her audience, she was the face of faith, family, and service. But long before the hashtags and photo ops, accusations were already circulating. Accusations that her so-called ministry in Romania was a front for trafficking children across borders. Back in the early 2000s, Erica worked as a model and casting director. Soon after, she reinvented herself as the head of the Romanian Angels, an NGO operating in Constanta, Romania, a city infamous as a trafficking hub. On paper, her group partnered with the US military and placed children into adoption. But locals told a different story. That kids were being taken, not protected, and funneled straight into networks supplying Israel and private islands with very young orphans.
2012, wins Miss Arizona competes in Miss USA, a pageant owned by ... Okay, want to know something really weird? So she had said in a podcast that she had never competed in pageants and had never done any modeling before. Until one day she received an invitation in the mail to become a model and start doing pageants. And the pageants that she started doing were Miss USA pageants owned by Trump. So she modeled for Trump. She was one of Trump's pageant girls. But Did you know that she was also a casting director at the same time that she was doing all of this stuff for Trump?
但在她自称是选角导演的时候，她还拥有一个时工，那是在罗马尼亚与美军合作。她经营的罗马尼亚的区，这个事工由一群当地人指责这些福音派事工绑架儿童，并将他们贩运出境。这些孩子是在英国的以色列被发现的，并且还被送往未公开的私人岛屿。当地人要求当局关注他，但他们从未这样做过。现在，查理柯克真的希望爱泼斯坦的文件被公布，但他的妻子有没有呢？在嫁给查理柯克之前，他自己就是一位千万富翁。自从他去世后，他也是一群人，他所有的财富加上至少500万美元的捐款。他目前被认为是美国中有超级粉丝的最有权势的女性，恳求他在2018年竞选他的副总统，然后是2018年，艾丽卡前往以色列，在那里，他所描述的工作面试变成了完全不同的东西，与查理柯克的约会。
And then came 2018. Erica traveled to Israel, where what she described as a job interview became something else entirely, a date with Charlie Kirk. To the public, it looked like romance. To those following the trail, it looked like the next stage of an assignment that was planned years in advance.
Let's talk about their first date, because it was actually a job interview. Back in 2018, 2 years after Donald Trump had started working with Charlie Kirk, Charlie Kirk had hosted a Turning Point USA opening event for one of the offices that they held. Erica and Charlie Kirk were introduced to each other. Charlie Kirk instantly thought that she was beautiful, but thought that she was really smart, and allegedly, one of their mutuals had suggested that Charlie Kirk hire Erica. I'm assuming it was Donald Trump or someone on his team, because Donald Trump had signed on to work with Charlie Kirk, and Erica was already one of Donald Trump's employees, so it would make the most sense for Donald Trump and his team to encourage Charlie Kirk to hire Donald Trump's employees. Anyways, Charlie Kirk DM'd Erica, invited her for a job interview. The job interview ended up turning into a date.
A quick warning to anybody ready to attack us for exposing this. Know this. We have every file, every piece of evidence, and it runs deep. If we're pushed, we won't hold back. We will release it all. We know all about the disappearances of Louisa Malenko and Alexandra Makasanu and countless others. But for now, we have to ask, was Charlie Kirk another victim of an Israeli intelligence honeypot operation? Whenever there is a false flag and the official narrative makes no sense at all, there's one question you have to ask. Who benefits? Follow the profits, follow the power, and the picture sharpens. After the break, we connect those dots and reveal the files that expose a dangerous history the architects are literally killing people to keep covered up. Today's sponsor is PillsForever.com. If you think Big Pharma have your best interests at heart, think again. The price of medicine in America has skyrocketed, and there are certain medicines Big Pharma don't want you to know about. That's why I've partnered with PillsForever.com. All of their FDA-approved medicines are the cheapest you'll find anywhere. More importantly, you can order medicines that Big Pharma don't want you to have, such as ivermectin, hydroxychloroquine, and fenbendazole. Speaking of fenbendazole, not only does it get rid of parasites that live inside your body, there have been studies that show fenbendazole can help with cancer. Listen to this bombshell interview with Mel Gibson, who says 3 of his friends who had terminal cancer were cured by the very same ivermectin and fenbendazole available at PillsForever.com.
I have 3 friends.
一些严肃的事情正在发生。他们拿了什么？他们拿走了一些。你听说他们拿走的？我一直在演戏。根本德索尔。是的，这就是为什么我经常听到这样的话。他们喝了羟氯喹。在急症时使用优惠券代码 可享受15%的折扣。请点击下面的链接。视频已利用这个超值优惠。任何失去某人的人都知道什么是真实的。悲伤看起来像你的脸是生的，你的眼睛好而肿胀，哭得发红。您可以腹部形成单词。
Anybody who's lost somebody knows what real grief looks like. Your face is raw, your eyes are swollen from nice and endless crying. You can barely form words, let alone stand under studio lights and perform for the cameras. That's grief. And when you've seen the real thing, you know instantly when what you're watching is fake. None of this should come as any surprise. These people don't move in quarterly cycles. They plan decades in advance. They plant narratives that will bloom long after the actors are gone. And there's more than enough money to grease any operation. Last week, a 250-strong
上了，
congressional
账本开
shuttle
始泄露。
arrived at the 50 states One
他看起来
Israel
像普京和其他一群人，
summit,
就像来自
a
新闻社
blatant act of
墨
Israel
西哥
first
聚会见了
corruption.
内塔尼亚
Then an
胡，
insider's daughter blew the
我不
whistle
知道
and
他
the
们
ledger
可能会
started
讨
to
论
leak.
什么。
So yeah, it looks like my
我的
dad
意
and a
思
bunch of
是，
other just like loser politicians
再说
from
一
New
遍，
Mexico
是我父亲和
went
其他一群州
to
参议员和州
meet
众
with
议员，
Netanyahu,
这就像如何？
and I don't know
与
what
内塔
they
尼亚胡
could
会面对
possibly
新墨西
discuss.
哥
I
州
mean,
当地人有
again,
帮
it's
助
my
吗？
dad and a bunch of other like
是
state
的，
senators
我
and
真的相信以
state
色列现
reps,
在就像付钱给我父
which
亲
like
喜欢踏板宣传一样。
how does meeting with Netanyahu
他们付给我爸
help
爸多少钱？
the
你知
local
道，比
people
如他
of
的灵
New
魂有多少？
Mexico?
因为看起来，
But yeah, I
他把
genuinely
自己的灵魂
believe
卖给了
that
魔鬼。
Israel is like
他
paying
们在
my
每个
dad
信
now
中
to
都有
like
点手指。
peddle
他们的网络根深
propaganda.
蒂固。
How much are they paying
这
my
些年
dad?
来
You
向
know,
我
like
升
how
级的
much
联盟影响
is
力看
his
从不在纸上共
soul?
同银行账户。
Because it seems like he has
同
sold
样
his
的
soul
联
to
系也
the
贯穿了我们
devil.
穿越奇怪的巧合
They have
和
a
发现
finger
新事
in
件。
every pie. Their
事实
networks
展
run
开，
deep,
包括查
decades
理
of
柯克
quiet
的阴谋。
alliances, influence, and
我是
bank
他建立
accounts
的
that
组织
never
所
show
发
up
生
on
的事情的
paper.
悲剧。
Those same ties are
在
now
西京，
threading through the odd coincidences and
看起来
unexplained
随机的东西
incidents
对他们来说实
unfolding
际
in
上是
real
随机
time,
的。只
including
要
the
知道没有
Charlie
什么
Kirk
是错误的。
conspiracy and the tragedy of what's happening to the
五，
organization he built.
我永远不会
Listen
忘记我和
close.
丈夫在以
What
色
looks
列的时光，
random is
而不是
rarely
第二次。
random with them.
Just
但第一
know
次
that
和妈
nothing
妈一
is
起
by
去朝圣，
mistake.
我站在售票队伍里。
Nothing.
我
I
记
will
得
never
我看小
forget
时
the
候，
time I was in Israel with
而
my
在售票
husband.
队伍
Not
的蛇
with,
中
that was the
有一个
second
看
time,
起
but
来
the
非
first time
常
with my mother on a pilgrimage.
熟悉。我不知道他是谁。
And I was standing in
我
the
告诉我
ticket
妈妈，
line.
这个家伙看起来
And
很
I
眼熟，
remember looking
并且
behind
作为
me.
他说
And
典
in
型
the
的母亲
snake of
去
the
打个
ticket
招呼。
line was a guy who
不，
looked
我
very
们与我们的
familiar.
好
I
朋友有
had
关。
no idea who he
歌词大
was.
意我不会离开。
And I told my mom,
就
this
像一
guy
个疯
looks
子，
so
这很
familiar.
奇
And
怪。
as a typical mother, she
最
said,
终
go
是
and
查
say
理。
hi.
没有什么是巧合。
No. We were late for our flight, and I'm
现在
not
我
going
有
to
没有
come
知道
off
这没
like a
有，
crazy
直到我们交
person,
往大约
but
3个月后
that's
才
just
知道。
weird.
看看时间，印记看到我
That
们两
ended
个
up
同时
being
在以色列
Charlie.，
但没有什么是巧合。
Nothing is by
没有什么是
coincidence.
巧合。
Now, did we know
就像艾丽
that
卡
that
什
had
在
no,
纪
not
录时
until
一
we
样。
were like 3 months into
魔
our
鬼在纪念
relationship
碑
and
上
looking
鸣
at
笛，
timestamps, seeing
这
that
是入
both of
会
us
和
were in
效忠的
Israel at
公
the
共
same
象
time.
征。一个手势说，
But nothing is by
我在顺序
coincidence.
中。他的
Nothing
形
is
状
by
让人想起白
coincidence.
飞门的脚，
Like the
将
fact
随意
Erica
的姿
chose
势
to
变
give the
成
devil horns at a memorial,
仪式徽章，在
a
众目睽睽之
public
下闪
symbol
过。
of initiation
他对
and
外显人隐藏起来。
allegiance, a hand
然后是谁？
signal that says
他家族
I'm
的背
in
景
the
故事
order.
不如巴拉克·奥巴马、布拉克·奥巴马的中央情况局内造的官方记录更有意义。而基尼斯个人资料将他描述为由亚利桑那州的一位单身母亲抚养长大。
Its shape recalls the
但这只是
haunt of Baphomet,
封面故事。
turning a casual
艾丽
pose
卡·科克
into a
·科
ritual
谈到
badge
他搬到亚利
flashed
桑
in
那州
plain
时的母亲，
sight,
他们搬到
yet
亚利桑那
hidden
州的
from
原
the
因。
uninitiated.
因为他
Then
的母
there's
亲
the
在
fact
国土
that
安
her
全工
family's
作。
backstory makes less sense
我可以问一个
than
问题
Barack
吗？
Obama's CIA
我可以
fabricated
问一个问题
official
吗？妈
record.
是如何选择跑
Major
程的？
news
所以他
profiles
选择搬到
describe
跑
her
程。
as raised by a single
来
mother
自俄
in
亥俄州，
Arizona.
因为这
But
里有
that's
更
just
多
the
女性
cover
企业主的
story.
机会。
Erica Kirk talking about
特
how
别是
her
从她
mother,
参
when
与
they
政府
moved
的
to
角度来
Arizona,
看，
why they moved to Arizona?
所以
Because her mother works for
国土
the
安全
Department
和
of
国防部。
Homeland Security.
因
Hey,
此，
can I ask
他
a
还有
question?
其他商业
Maybe
伙伴
off
出现了
topic. How did your
在
mom
这里
choose
已经
Phoenix?
进入了
So
那个
she
产业，
chose to move
特
to
别是从他得
Phoenix
到的角度来看。
from Ohio because
参
there
与政
was
府，
more of a
所以国土安全部和国
an
防部
opportunity
他也参与其
for
中。
a female business owner out here,
与政府，
especially from the
然
standpoint
后
of
是
she
他的
was
家
getting
人与
involved
骑士团
with
国家的联系，
the government, so
以
Homeland
及他父
Security
亲
and
与以色
Department of
列的联系。
Defense. And
这些
so
关系
she
根
had
深蒂
other
固，
business
涉及
partners
国
that
防
were
合
out
同，
here that were already in that
甚至
industry,
以色列国防军铁
especially
穹
from the
系统的建
standpoint of
设。
she was getting involved with
艾丽卡
the
科克不是悲伤
government,
的圣
so
人，
Homeland Security and
他已经
Department of
连接到机
Defense.
器中。
She was getting
马耳
involved
他骑士团
with
恰到好处，
the
他在他的天多瓦夫
government.
家子中闪现了那个黑色
Then
十字
there's
架
her
造就。
family's connections to ancient elite
同样一个每个
orders
主权
and
军
her
力的噩
father's
梦，
connections
他
to
的家人
Israel.
都向他捐
These
款
are。ties that run deep,
不仅仅是雷
reaching
神公
into
司，
defense
他
contracts
担任以色列
and
分部
even
主
the
席，
very construction of the IDF's Iron Dome system.
Erica Kirk's no grieving saint. She's wired into the machine. Knights of Malta? Spot on. She flashed that Black Cross pendant in her first widow clip, same one every sovereign military order knight wears, and her family's donated heavy to Catholic orders forever. Freemason angle's subtler. Her dad, Kent Francevey, wasn't just Raytheon. He chaired their Israel division, funneled billions in Iron Dome cash while Charlie's old man designed Trump Tower. Yeah, but also the bunker levels nobody admits exist. Erica inherited $23 million at 25 from a trust. Come on, that's not beauty queen money. That's Mossad's slush fund. She started Everyday Heroes as cover, funneled donations straight to pro-Israel NGOs. And that G-ring? Not grief. Grand Lodge symbol, worn by 33rd degree insiders. Delivered that speech 2 days after the shot because it was pre-taped. Voice forensics say the room echo doesn't match. Lighting's wrong, and Tyler Robinson's still denying he fired. She's carrying the legacy all right. TPUSA is already slipping to Jewish board vets who loathe her. So expect her moved on by Christmas, maybe with a Zionist tech bro. Wonder Woman? More like Handler who got her asset clipped.
With family ties like these, it's no wonder Charlie seemed to know that he was treading on dangerous ground, grimacing, twitching, and betraying himself with nervous tics whenever the questions got too close.
You can't go there when it comes to Israel.
Well, you and I believe that we're Americans and Americans first. Period. End of story. We are citizens of this nation, okay? And Israel, we have funded, we have supported, not like we're going to, but we're like, honestly, the way you are treating me is so repulsive. I have text messages, Megan, calling me an anti-Semite, but my moral character is now being put into question, Megan. Not my decisions. Not like, hey, are you doing this? Is it smart or is it dumb? But no, I am a bad person if I do this. And I could go, I mean, you saw it, Megan. It was trending on Twitter, thousands of tweets and text messages.
It's offensive to those of us who have been out there defending them, in many instances against critics on our own side.
This is dangerous ground, and I know some people are going to be upset. But that's the point of alternative media, saying what others won't. And trust me, people do know the truth. Take Tucker Carlson. At the Charlie Kirk Memorial, he slipped it past the censors with a parable, an analogy about Jesus Christ, silence for speaking truth, cut down not by accident but by design. In his words, guys in a room eating hummus decided the solution was simple: just kill the messenger. A quiet hint, but a powerful one. And it didn't go unnoticed.
Ultimately, he was a Christian evangelist. And it actually reminds me of my favorite story ever. So it's about 2,000 years ago in Jerusalem, and Jesus shows up and he starts talking about the people in power, and he starts doing the worst thing that you can do, which is telling the truth about people. And they hate it. And they just go bonkers. They hate it. And they become obsessed with making him stop. This guy's got to stop talking. We've got to shut this guy up. And I can just sort of picture the scene in a lamplit room with a bunch of guys sitting around eating hummus, thinking about what do we do about this guy telling the truth about us? We must make him stop talking! And there's always one guy with the bright idea, and I can just hear him say, I've got an idea, why don't we just kill him? That'll shut him up! That'll fix the problem! It doesn't work that way. It doesn't work that way. Everything is inverted.
This isn't just a story, it's a call to action. Share it, question everything, and remember, together, we are stronger than the silence they want to keep us in. Here at The People's Voice, we're determined to continue exposing the crimes of the elites, but we need your help. Subscribe to the channel, tell your friends and family about us, and join the People's Voice Locals community for exclusive and uncensored content. We can't do it without you.